2025, and I am here to discuss my journey and strategy with the aspirants. Am I audible? Can anybody confirm? Okay, so firstly, I hail from Shri Ganganagar, Rajasthan, and I have done my schooling from my hometown only. Then I moved to Delhi to do my masters, uh, to done my bachelor's in BSc Honors Chemistry. And there I have prepared for IIT JAM and I have secured All India rank 1 in that. Then I have done my masters from IIT Bombay, and while I was in IIT Bombay, I started preparing for UPSC CSC, and I started my journey in 2021, and it has been around 4.5 years. And this was my third attempt. It was my third attempt. It was my second mains and first interview. So, uh, the suc- so Ravinder, I have gotten my motivation while I was doing my bachelor's. There was a society in my college which used to do the work related to the social welfare, and I was associated with that uh, on an ad hoc basis. So that had given me the motivation. Besides, my father has also motivated me to join the civil services, and he saw that I had the potential to clear this exam. The credit to my success actually goes to my father only, who had my back on each and every step of the UPSC as well as the failure. Uh, I was about to give up uh, after my second attempt only. But my father said that I should give my best in the one more attempt. So I had given the third attempt on my father's push or motivation. So credit to the success goes to my father only, as well as the other family members. Yes, I have taken the coaching. I did my coaching from Vajiram and Ravi in 2021. I had done the foundation course with them, and I had also taken their short mains to do my answer writing practice. So, any other questions, or shall I move to my strategy? Saroj, can you repeat your question? Okay, first I will start discussing my strategy. Okay. So firstly, I would start with the prelims. In the prelims, we have two papers. In the prelims, we have two papers, one general study and the CSAT. For general study, we have actually six subjects and current affairs on them. For polity, we all know that there is Lakshmikant, and for economics, there is various books and Mrunal sir course. I have read the book of I have read one book for the economics, and you can follow any book or notes as you feel comfortable, but it is very important that you do the PYQs and make notes out of them. And for geography and history, I would say that NCRTs are very important. Each and every year, questions get repeated from the PYQs and the NCRTs, word by word actually. And it is also very important to do the mapping for geography and history. And for as far as environment is concerned, uh, for environment, what we should do is that we should read one basic book for the environment, and that second part should be we should do the various conventions, laws, and bodies and make notes on them. And third, we should map various endangered species to the national parks or regions, etc. So, Ramya Rajput, we will take the comments at the end. First, I will discuss my strategy, and then we will discuss all the doubts of the aspirants. So, as I was saying, that for the environment, uh, it is very important to do the mapping as well. We should map the endangered species, wetlands, national parks, etc. on a map, and there is a linkage between the mapping of geography and environment. So we should combine both, and we should make the consolidated notes out of them. And another subject is science and technology. For science and tech, what we should do is that we should do the previous year question and get the idea of how to solve them, because there is no set syllabus or current affairs which we can rely on as our base material. So our base material should be previous year questions and various news which we read from time to time. And for current affairs, I would like to point out that aspirants used to waste disproportionate amount of time on current affairs by reading coaching magazines and newspapers for 2 to 3 hours, etc. But what I did was very radical. Uh, I did not do PT 365 or Mains 365. I had never read the newspaper for 2 to 3 hours. What I did was uh, there is a Telegram channel of Vajiram and Ravi. There they put headlines of the day on that channel. So I used to read that headlines and decide which news I should move forward with in detail. And on the Vajiram and Ravi website, there is also prelims and mains pointers which they put out every day. So I used to read those only, and fortunately, there were also questions from those news pointers. So, all in all, I spent not more than 30 minutes in a day on the current affairs. I had never revised the current affairs, and I think we should save the time. Uh, we should save time from the current affairs and spend it on strengthening our static part. So, so the overall prelim strategy, which helped me clear it, uh, was that we should solve the PYQ questions. We should make notes out of them. We should do the mapping part very seriously and wholeheartedly, whether it is for geography, environment, or history. And Second, we should try to at least do 3 to 4 revisions before the prelims. And for the environment and science and tech, there is no end of the current affairs. We should never dwell into current affairs very deeply, else it will waste a lot of time. And I have seen my friends making this mistake again and again. So for the this was for the general study paper of the prelims. And for the CSAT, uh, I had the maths background, so I did not get any difficulty in solving the CSAT paper. But the reading comprehension part of the CSAT is very dicey. And what I did was I did the previous year questions only for the reading comprehension. And if you still feel less confident in the reading comprehension, you can take any book from the market and solve the reading comprehension of other exams. And it is very important that we stick to the timeline in the exam, in the examination hall. So I used to take strictly 50 minutes, 50 to 55 minutes for solving the reading comprehension. Uh, so next, there is quant and reasoning part. Quant and reasoning part was my favorite. And for quant and reasoning, I used to watch the YouTube lectures, and I used to solve the questions of the previous year. And I had also bought a book from the market and I had solved it. It is very important that you are well aware with the previous trend of the CSAT paper. Since in 2024 it was very easy, but in 2025 it was a bit difficult. So we cannot take CSAT very lightly as the aspirants usually do. So there is also a change in the trend in the paper of CSAT. In 2025, the maths questions were very difficult, and many people were not able to solve the maths portion of the CSAT. So we should also try to uh, be very uh, be very thorough with the maths portion of the CSAT, which we usually avoid. So coming to the mains, in mains, it is very important that you do answer writing practice. It is one thing to do the static portion, but the main thing which helped me clear the mains part was answer writing only. And it is applicable for all the subjects of the mains, be it essay, GS 1, 2, 3, 4, or optional. So I will start with the essay part. In essay, we get 3 hours and 1.5 hour for each essay. I used to make the framework for my essay in the initial 20 to 25 minutes, and it helped me a lot because it solves a lot of problem while we write the essay. Because it helped me structure the essay in the beginning itself, and then it was just a cakewalk for writing the entire essay in the 1 hour. So to structure the essay, what we should keep in mind is that there should be connections between the paragraph. That our essay should not be discrete blocks of knowledge. What we should do is we should make connections between the paragraphs, and it will uh, it will happen only when we practice essay more and more. Also, what aspirants used to do was that they pick one keyword from the essay and write on that. But we should take the topic of the essay in its entirety, understand its meaning, and our essay should revolve around that meaning instead of the keywords. So now I will move to GS1. In GS1, we have four subjects: history, geography, society, and art and culture. So for art and culture, its syllabus is very vast. The cost benefit ratio is very low. However, there are few topics from the previous year question which we can map, and we should prepare around them only instead of delving deep into the art and culture of India. For example, there is Buddhism, Jainism part. There is Gupta's portion, etc. So we should map the topics from the previous year question and make notes on them, which I used to do. Second, there is history. In history, I would suggest that we should do only the previous year questions, and there is no need to do any extra static part apart from what we read for the prelims. And for geography, it was my favorite. And first, in my first year, I used to make very detailed notes on the geography. However, it had become very bulky. So I would also suggest aspirants to chase the brevity as well. For geography, again, there will be previous year questions which will act as the holy grail, and we should again map the important topics from the previous year question and make notes on them. And for society, there should be one basic material to understand the Indian society portion, and we should do as much practice as we can for the society part since it has become very dynamic and applied in the recent years. So there is no book which I would like to suggest for GS1. The only part which is most important for our preparation is previous year questions. And for GS2, there are again four subjects: polity, governance, social issues, and international relations. So for polity, which we do Lakshmikant for the prelims portion. However, it has very low utility for the mains. For the mains, one innovative method which we can use is that we can use the chat GPT, and we should make a list of the important current affairs, and we should make notes on the important current affairs only. Also, we can use various uh, test questions to make our notes. I used to solve the Vajiram test series and make notes of the polity from their answers. And for the second part, which is governance, it is very static, and we can use the previous year questions for making notes on the governance portion as well as for the social issues. For the international relations, again, it is a very dynamic topic, and in this portion, we should have a very good grasp on the current affairs. And there are some non-traditional sources which helped me in the international relations part. First source was that I used to follow YouTube channels like The Print and Tyagi sir from the YouTube channel of Study IQ. And second, I made the static notes from the previous year questions only. And third, what we should do is that constant practice of the international relations from various Telegram channels which post daily questions for the practice. Um, the one Telegram channel that I can think of is Convert IAS. They used to post daily two questions from the current affairs. Now for the GS3 portion, there are five subjects: economics, agriculture, science and tech, environment, and there are six subjects: environment, disaster management, and internal security. So for economics, uh, the approach which I used was that I used to make various equations and flow charts from the static economic parts, from the static economics which I have read for the prelims. For example, there are various equations from the 12th NCRT of the economics, which we can use as a value addition in our answers. For the agriculture portion, previous year questions are very helpful as they get repeated. And for the environment and science and tech portion, it is very dynamic and random. And I would suggest the aspirants to not dwell deep into the environment and science and tech portion. Instead, they should just do the previous year questions as a practice or daily questions from various Telegram channels. And for the internal security, again, it is a static heavy portion. Uh, it is a static heavy portion, and we should do the current affairs, and uh, we should integrate the current affairs in the internal security portion as a value addition. And to make the notes, we can follow uh, previous year questions only. Uh, Now, one thing that I would like to mention in the economics part is that it is very important to draw the diagrams. And I used to integrate diagrams from economic survey. For example, there was shipping index and inflation index, etc. There were so many diagrams in the economic survey of India, and it also differentiates our copy, and it gives us very good chance that examiner uh, would give one extra mark in the economics, which is usually the Achilles heel of an aspirant. So now I would like to move to GS4. In the GS4, again we have three subjects, which is psychology, philosophy, and public administration, and case studies on them. For the ethics part, I would like to differentiate between the state civil services and the UPSC. The state civil services ask very theoretical question on these three subjects. However, UPSC takes a very applied and dynamic approach, and it is best that we solve the UPSC previous year question first, and then we make notes on them. To have a basic understanding on the GS4, we can read any base material. For example, I used to read Forum IAS Red Book on GS4. It had given me a basic idea, basic examples, etc. However, uh, the most useful portion to score good marks in GS4 would be the case studies. And I used to do the case studies on a daily basis. Then I had put, then I used to put the question of the case study in the chat GPT or Gemini and ask answers from them. And I had also, I used to also add the query to add the value addition, value additions in the answers. And from the answers of the chat GPT or Gemini, I used to make my notes. So for the GS4 portion, along with our basic material, the most important aspect is that we have examples, quotes, and case studies with us to quote in our answers in the theoretical portion. Now we would move to optional subject. My optional subject was chemistry. It was a technical subject, and aspirants usually opt for the humanities subjects like anthropology, sociology, etc. However, I would still like to shed some light on my optional, which is chemistry. The first question that comes to the mind of aspirant is that how should we choose the optional? So I would suggest that if you have the background from the IIT or you have prepared for the competitive examinations, so you can choose the science optionals. Else, I would not recommend the science optionals. I had secured 306 marks in chemistry this year and 279 last year. The high marks which I got, the whole credit goes to my background in chemistry, which was very strong due to my preparation during the days of IIT JAM. For preparation of science optional, there should be a dedicated 1 year that we should devote if we are preparing that optional from scratch. That is why I would recommend these optionals only to the persons which have a background in science. Now to prepare for the chemistry, I used to read various books of chemistry and I had made notes out of them. Initially, the notes made by me was very bulky. Uh, in the subsequent revisions, what I did was initially I made a mistake that I had not given priority to reading the previous year questions of chemistry. Uh, in the subsequent revisions, what I used to do was read the previous year question first and then read my notes. It had helped me filter out the unnecessary portion from my notes, and it is applicable in general to all the optionals. If you are preparing for your optional, first go through the previous year question of that optional to get a fair idea of the length and breadth of that syllabus and then start preparing notes on them. It will not only save your time, but it will also help you in the active recall in the subsequent revisions. Now, another question that comes to the mind of aspirant is that whether we should prepare for prelims and mains simultaneously. Is it a integrated preparation or we should do a differentiated approach? In this aspect, my strategy was different what aspirants usually do. I had prepared solely for the prelims in my first attempt, and after I cleared my prelims, then I started preparing for mains. It is because I used to fear the prelims very much because of its diciness and unpredictability. So I had planned to strengthen my static portion in the first year while I was giving my second attempt. My first attempt I had given without much preparation. In the second attempt, I had prepared very seriously and I had prepared from the point of view of prelims. There are both pros and cons to this strategy. The pro is that uh, there is a different approach to both prelims and mains. What we read for the prelims may not be very helpful for the mains because in mains it is a descriptive part which is needed. We used to do pro SWOT analysis, the strength, weakness, etc., the pro and cons, etc. However, in the prelims, we need to read the facts, and in the mains we used to do the analysis of that facts. So either you can do the integrated approach, but uh, it will be very difficult to revise the exact portions for each and every exam. So I had two types of notes, one for the prelims and one for the mains. And while I was making my notes for the mains, I used to integrate my knowledge of prelims as a value addition. So this is also a benefit if you do the preparation of prelims solely before doing the mains preparation, that you have your value addition part with you beforehand. Now another question is, uh, may How should we frame the mains answer? This is a pertinent issue in the mind of aspirants, that how should we break the question and how should we divide the portion of our answer sheet to various parts of the question. For this, there are various YouTube videos. However, the natural art of breaking the question into parts and addressing each and every part comes only through the practice. Uh, the reason that I had missed the mains cutoff in my first mains was that I hadn't done enough answer writing practice. However, in my second attempt, in my second mains, uh, I had devoted around 60 to 70% time to the answer writing and only 30 to 40% of my time reading the theory. Also, what you can do is that you can ask ChatGPT or Gemini to create a list of few questions from any topic, and you can also add the query to increase or decrease the difficulty level or parts in the question, and through that you can learn the art of breaking the question into various parts. And in this respect, uh, the test series of Vajiram has also helped me because their questions usually contained various parts, around 2 to 3 parts per question, and it was a very good practice to identify each and every part and address them discreetly. So, the major difference between the answers of my first and second mains was solely that in my second mains, I was very good at breaking the question into various parts and addressing them discreetly. And I usually break the question into 3 parts. And I try to give a way forward at the end of each and every answer in my second mains. Also, it is very important that we write the whole 20 answers in 3 hours because while chasing the perfection, we are not sure that we will get the proportionate marks. However, if you write the average answer to last 2 to 3 questions, then also you will get at least 5 to 6 marks as a bonus, which you will miss if you will focus excessively on the perfection. Also, answer writing practice helps you to quickly recall the points and finish your answer in 7 minutes or 11 minutes as per the marks. Also, it is very important that we use flowchart or diagram in our answer. This was also the difference between my first and second mains. In my second mains, I excessively used flowcharts and diagrams in my answers. I used to make maps in each and every question of geography. Also, I used to add flowcharts in the governance and social issues part in the GS2. And I had integrated equations of the static economics in GS3, and there are various other value additions. Now to discuss the value additions in GS1, starting from the art and culture part. In art and culture and history, I used to start with uh, names of the authors or a quote, and for the conclusion, I used to map the significance of that uh, artifact or monument, etc., or any art and culture related entity to the present. And we can also give the way forward. For example, the Panchsheel policy, etc., the Panch Pran. Now, I would like to discuss the interview stage of the UPSC. For interview, the basic question of the aspirant is that how can we fill our DAF and our hobbies? For that, I would like to add that our hobbies should be very organic, and we can also create our own hobbies based on our interest. For example, uh, I started listening to the podcast on Indian defense, and this is the hobby that I had also mentioned. Also, we can also start any new hobby after our mains, and we can use that in our DAF. But the interview stage is very unpredictable, and the type of questions asked varies from board member to board member. For example, I had got Dasa sir as a chairman, and he had asked the questions based on my DAF only. So the first and foremost thing that any aspirant should do is that he should have very good grasp on his DAF, each and every keyword. For example, I was asked about the name of my school, that what is the meaning of Good Shepherd, and I was able to answer it very discreetly and in a manner that reflected the officer-like qualities. So our answers in the interview should reflect our officer-like qualities. We should be balanced in our approach, and our hobby should also reflect the same. For example, uh, I had started following the various green technologies, latest green technologies, and I had mentioned that as a hobby. So it will also help the board to frame the right questions to analyze your officer-like qualities. So whatever hobbies you are developing, apart from the sports, I would recommend that it should be in a some way should be related to the civil service and our UPSC syllabus in general. So another question that aspirant have in their mind is that how should we analyze the topper copies? In this respect, I would like to say that topper copies are the holy grail for the preparation of UPSC, especially for the mains, because uh, before starting each and every topic, I used to see the topper copies, and I used to see their answers, how they have framed, and what information have they included in their answers. It will also help in making our notes in point-wise manner in a very crisp and brevity, keeping it very short, which is also very easy to revise. We will take the comments at the end. So there is a question that should we follow new or old NCRTs? In this respect, I would say that I had initially followed the old NCRT. However, I had shifted to the new ones, and I found the new ones to be more relevant as per the current trend of the UPSC prelims. And I had made notes out of the new NCRTs. Another question is how should we do the value addition? I think I have clarified this for the GS1. I will repeat it. For the art and culture, I used to add the author name in the introduction and any way forward or present significance in the conclusion. For geography, there is maps and there are various conventions and We can also use the datas or international bodies in our conclusion. And for history, we should use various examples. For example, freedom fighters, etc. in our answer. And for GS2, for the polity, we should quote articles and Supreme Court cases. For this, I had used various uh, PDF compilations of the Supreme Court cases, etc. For the governance, we should have the case studies with us, and for the social issues, uh, we can have data, and we can also use the best practices from the various countries. And for international relations, uh, we can use the data for the value addition. For economics, we have flowcharts and static economic equations, and we can also use the data. For agriculture, we can quote various best practices from other countries. For example, Israel uses uh, grey water for the irrigation after recycling it. So we can use such case studies. And for environment and science and tech, uh, since the questions are very random, it is very difficult to add the value addition for them. However, in the internal security, since it is a very static topic, we can integrate the current affairs as the value addition along with the data. Also, we can search various best practices which our Indian armed forces or central armed police forces are using. We can code their operations, and we can also mention various successful case studies. For GS4, there is examples of the civil servants. There are quotes, and there are also case studies from the other countries. So about current affair magazines, as I had clarified that I had not read any current affair magazine, not for prelims and not for mains. I used to do the current affair value addition for the mains from the chat GPT or Gemini to save my time, and I mainly relied on my static notes. Another question is, how should we understand the demand of the question? Uh, in this respect, the answer writing can only be helpful because initially I also used to miss the demand of the question. However, with practice, uh, we easily grasp the demand and break the question into various parts. And it is basically the answer writing practice, which is the most important thing for the mains. How should we choose the medium for the UPSC preparation? So we should choose the medium as per our comfort level. Now, with the era of AI, the Hindi medium students can also convert the English content into the Hindi in a few seconds only. So, I don't think that there is issue of any content for the Hindi medium aspirants now due to the help of AI. Another question is related to the maps, that how should we do the maps and they are not able to understand. For mapping, uh, I had used the atlas for understanding the basic geography and various peaks, mountain ranges, rivers, etc. However, as we move in our preparation, what we should do is that we should try to make the integrated maps. We should integrate mountain ranges with the rivers, and we should integrate the national parks, biosphere reserves with the species. This will help not only uh, in understanding maps better, but it will also help in solving the prelims question indirectly through our indirect knowledge. Another question is how should we analyze the syllabus? For syllabus, we should write the syllabus with our own hands, and uh, we should understand each and every keyword, and we should also try to search various subtopics from those subjects from various coaching websites. For example, there is one website which used to provide the micro topics on the syllabus. So we can divide the syllabus keywords into various micro topics, and we can make notes on those micro topics. So this was all from my side, and now I would like to invite the comments and questions. Questions related to the UPSC preparation would be entertained, and not the personal questions like whether they should prepare or not. So Saroj is asking that he is getting 50-50 questions, right, wrong, and how should he move forward? So in prelims, it is very important that we mark more than 60 questions correctly if we want to clear the prelims. And our static knowledge can come in handy only up to a certain level. After that, there should be a educated guess from our side to firstly eliminate some options and then take the risk. For that, I would like to suggest that aspirants should practice the previous year questions to understand the pattern of the answers. There is a certain pattern in each and every subject, and by understanding that pattern, they can mark the questions correctly, and they can achieve more than 60 questions correct. They can mark more than 60 questions correctly. There is not a single science and tech material that I would like to suggest. What I used to do was that only I used to solve various coaching test series, and I used to make notes from those. again for the science and tech, we should understand the pattern of the prelims. For example, a lot of questions with all of the above are correct, and by understanding the trend in the previous year question, we can mark the science and tech questions correctly. So Anchal Bhati is asking about the current affairs. As I said earlier, I had not done current affairs very rigorously. I used to follow the Vajiram and Ravi Telegram channel. There they used to put various news headlines, and from those news headlines I used to pick very important ones, and uh, I read only those news in detail. Apart from that, I had followed Vajiram and Ravi online website where they used to put prelims and mains pointers each and every day. So all in all, I used to give only 30 minutes to the current affairs, and I had not done any single revision of the current affairs before the prelims. Instead, I used to devote my time in strengthening my static portion. No, we cannot skip the current affairs entirely for the prelims. However, for marking the doable questions correct, what we need is only the basic understanding of the current affairs, a general awareness, which we can have from uh, uh, glancing over the newspaper and following various websites of the coaching. So, any other question? Jeevan is asking how to analyze the PYQs. For analyzing the PYQs, firstly, we should understand the syllabus with our heart, and we should map the PYQs to the syllabus. And uh, we should also have in our mind various micro topics from which we can gather from various online coaching websites. And uh, the first step should be mapping the PYQ to the micro topic. Second should be to analyze the probability based on the its current relevance, and third, uh, we should make notes after the analysis. We should make notes on that PYQ only if it is relevant from the current affair point of view. So as a beginner in the second year, uh, you can join the coaching, and you can have a basic understanding of the syllabus of the UPSC. However, I would suggest that there should also be a plan B, and for and before jumping into the UPSC, we should be very confident about our plan B. And our plan B, we should, and for our plan B, we should have a clear roadmap in our college days. Uh, for essay and ethics, we should try to cover essay and ethics at the end after we have done our prelims and mains GS preparation, because the examples from GS 1 to 3 are usually used in our essay and ethics. So, one aspirant is asking about the book list. There is a book list available on the internet. However, I had not followed any single source for any subject. I used to do the research on the internet. I had used ChatGPT and Gemini very extensively. And uh, firstly, I used to analyze the PYQs, map them to the micro topics, and make my own notes instead of following a single source for the preparation. I think it is a more targeted way of completing the syllabus, and it will also help in keeping our notes in short. So, any other question? The choice of optional subject should be based on your comfort level, your background, and the time which you have. Generally, the good scoring optionals are anthropology, sociology, political science, geography, and if you have strong background in science and you have done the preparation for IIT competition, then you can also choose the PCM subjects. So to improve your prelims preparation and clearing the cutoff, the most basic thing which you should do is cover the static portion of each of the six subjects thoroughly and do the previous year questions. And after that, if you get the time, then you should do the current affairs. The most important thing here is to cover the subject and then doing as much questions as you can. I used to do around 2000 questions from one subject, and 7,000 to 8,000 questions in total for the prelims. So I think there are no further questions and we can end this live. Okay, thank you everyone. So Aarti is asking about NCRT. For the subjects of geography and history, I used to read the NCRTs of 6 to 12, and you should also make the notes out of the NCRT for the quick revision before the prelims. For history, you should follow the new NCRTs and not the old ones because they are currently more relevant as per the current trend of UPSC. For polity, you can do NCRT, the political theory one. For environment and ecology, there is 12th biology NCRT, the last four chapters of the 12th biology. It is advisable to do NCRTs from 6th to 12th because there are questions in some years which have come from the 6th and 7th NCRT as well. For guidance, you can join any coaching and it will give you a basic idea. However, to clear the UPSC, it is the self study which is more important than any guidance. So I think we can now end our live discussion. Okay, thank you everyone.